بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم ربنا أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم أرنا حقائق الأشياء كما هي. ربنا زدنا علما وعملا وإخلاصا وفقها يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر أولياءك في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم انصرهم على عدوك وعدوهم إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم فرج عنا وعن إخواننا في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم نفس كربنا وكربهم وثبت أقدامنا وأقدامهم والطف بنا وبهم يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أدخل السرور على قلوب المسلمين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم تقبل شهدانا. اللهم ارحم واغفر موتانا. اللهم اشف مرضانا وجرحانا. اللهم فك أسرانا واصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين يا رب العالمين. وصل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وأزواجه وأصحابه وأوانه وذريته وعترته وإخوانه إلى يوم الدين. ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Amin, amin, ya. So Lenin was born into a moderately well-to-do and scholarly family. His father was an inspector of schools of liberal, if moderate views, with a high sense of public duty, who died when Lenin was 16 years old. In the following year, when Lenin was sitting his final school examination, his elder brother, Alexander, was executed for his part in a plot to assassinate the Tsar. It can hardly be doubted that these events had a traumatic effect on the youthful Lenin, but such was his extraordinary resilience that he passed his examination with the highest possible marks and was admitted to Kazan University. Well, you need resilience to be a revolutionary of any sort. So he had not been there long before he was expelled for participating in a student protest meeting, and thereafter he devoted himself wholly to revolutionary activity, as did his surviving brother and two sisters. I didn't know that he had a surviving brother as well. Okay, Lenin's first public. So we are more interested in his work rather than his life. But sometimes, life of a person is helpful in understanding his thought. Okay, Lenin's first substantial work, What the Faith of the People Are, was published in 1893. 1893. How old was he? He was born in 1870. Yeah, 23 years old. Its objective was to undermine the economic, social, and political ideas of Russian populism, persistent theme of Lenin's writing up to 1900. What is populism? So populism, just generally, populism means, dictionary meaning of populism is a political approach. That's from Oxford Dictionary, I think. Political approach that strives to I guess the strives is there because not every populist approach is successful, to appeal to ordinary people. I mean, in this context, ordinary can mean ordinary in material state. Ordinary can also mean knowledge and expertise wise. So that would depend on the context. So ordinary people, for example, Rousseau's appeal to ordinary people, or Kant's at some stage, is that people know, potentially know themselves what is the best for them, and they don't have to rely to experts in those matters, for example, in morality and etc. So that's one form of populism, but other form of populism is you appeal to ordinary people, meaning people with less material goods or less material means. Anyway, to appeal to ordinary people who feel that, their concerns are disregarded by established elite groups. So elitist. So populism is contrasted to elitism, and obviously Lenin's thinking, if you think about his concept of professional revolutionaries and party, and the party is the party of professional revolutionaries. So although they are working for proletariat, but they are not appealing to the sense of, they are appealing to proletariat as well, but they are also trying to educate them and increase their consciousness. So they are not taking their consciousness as the guide. So in that sense, it is elitist. So an appeal to ordinary people can have different meanings. For example, you can appeal to ordinary people so that you can gain power, for example. A lot of populism of this sort. You might not really be concerned about ordinary people, but one group of elite at times can use ordinary people to gain power against another elite. And on the other hand, you can appeal to ordinary people because you care about them and you think that politics should be based on. So you are not guiding ordinary people, but you are guided by them. So you are just solving the problem of action coordination. So that can be, so there are various ways in which we can think of populism after this basic meaning. So each populist movement, say, in a way, Nazis were populist too. At the moment there's a lot of populism, right-wing populism, Trumpian populism, etc. So every populism should be, obviously has its unique characteristics. But beyond this basic definition, you can have various types of populisms. Okay. Now, as far as Russian populism is concerned, which was the context of Lenin, that populism was, Lenin obviously reacted to it and he disagreed with it, but also was influenced by it in many ways. Uh, and revolutionaries have a complex relationship with the people. The Mao's, I think this is attributed to Mao, but it's sort of whether the attribution is correct or not. That's not the point, but it's sort of encapsulate the relationship between revolutionaries and the population. Mao is attributed to have said revolutionary lives or move among the people as the fish swim in the sea. So without popular support, revolution cannot succeed. But I think, in my mind, what differentiates or demarcates a revolutionary from a populist, even a sincere populist, is that revolutionary wants to change himself and his surrounding and the people. On the other hand, populist appeal to the people to fulfill people's desires. On the other hand, revolutionary endeavors to change or transform the desire itself, the ideal itself, the people itself. But revolutionary do need strong footing, embeddedness among people in order. Otherwise, revolutionaries would be crushed. So you need to build a support. You build social institutions. You need to move among people in a natural way. You should have a living relationship with people, even though your purpose is to transform those people and through them transform the whole society. So that's the basic difference. I think it's encapsulated in one of Allama Iqbal's Urdu verse where he says that Allama Iqbal says, "Teri dua hai कि हो तेरी आरज़ू पूरी." आरज़ू पूरी, मेरी दुआ है तेरी आरज़ू बदल जाए. So arzu is the desire, the wish. So the populist, even the sincere populist, want to fulfill the existing desires of the population. On the other hand, a revolutionary tries to change the very desires which exist today and inculcate a different desire, a different vision among the people. Okay, so I think we'll go back. So Lenin's first substantial work, What the Friends of the People Are, was published in 1893. Its objective was to undermine the economic, social, and political ideas of Russian populism, a persistent theme of Lenin's writing. A persistent theme of Lenin's writings up to 1900, he had already established himself as the leader of the St. Petersburg Marxism and was influential in directing them away from in-depth, in-depth propaganda to mass economic agitation. Arrested in 1895, he continued to write from prison in support of the great strikes of 1896. Exiled to Serbia, he completed work on his massive development of capitalism in Russia. I believe the fullest account in Marxism of the earlier phase of the evolution of capitalism in Russia, I guess. Okay, let's stop here. Next time I will delve into Russian populism a bit, more specifically, and its relationship to Lenin. Okay, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, nashhadu la ilaha illallah, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Sallallahu wa sallam ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala ali sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa barik wa sallam. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين آمين آمين يا رب العالمين.